There have been several times when I've gone into a classroom with children who were terrified of pit bulls to the point where they had to stand on a table they were so afraid. One little child I'll never forget reminded me at the beginning of the class to keep my pit bull away from her because she was terrified. She had been bitten twice by a pit bull when she was a child. Within 20 minutes in the classroom, this little girl raised her hand and she said, "You know what? I just realized that Amy isn't the dog that bit me when I was a kid. I'm not afraid of Amy because I know that she's not the dog that hurt me. I'm not going to be afraid of other pit bulls anymore." That happened in 20 minutes. That's how powerful this can be. One of the neatest things about doing this program is when I go back to a school a year later, and after the children say hello again to the animals, some of them will tell me about how, because of my presentation, they've changed and they've done things for animals. They've helped horses, they've played with a neighbor's dog, they wrote a letter to a legislator to change some legislation. That really is one of the most rewarding parts of this, that it has a permanent impact on children at an age when children are still forming their beliefs and are sponges, waiting for somebody to tell them, how should I think about the world? And it's a great feeling to see that these animals are having that kind of impact on children. All too often I hear people saying, well, that's his dog, it's not mine, he can do what he wants, or that's not my family. It's everybody's responsibility for cruelty against everybody. And I hope if there's any message that my program sends to children and they send to other people, to their parents and friends, is that it is our responsibility no matter who is a victim, whether it's our own dog, our sister, a brother, a neighbor, or somebody across town. You know, while punishment and counseling are important tools to change the way people act towards animals, that's not the solution. The long-term solution has to be in our schools. Teachers not only should be able to, they must be required to include in the curriculum, not in a 10-minute segment or one visitor to a class. It needs to be throughout the curriculum from kindergarten through high school and college and graduate school, that empathy and respect for animals is a critical part of our society. It needs to be taught as a value. We see more and more where society is going back to old values, teaching honesty, respect, compassion, but I don't see it with animals. And all too often I've had schools who say, it's great what you do, Bob, but we don't let animals on our campus, or we can't let dogs, or people have this problem or that problem. I have college campuses where I can't bring my animals onto the campus to talk about animal abuse. In law schools even. Animals need to be much more part of our community, our society, and children have to be taught from the very beginning that it's okay to love animals, to help them. No, let me change that. It's not just okay. It's required of our society that you care about animals. You know, while my story with cancer is a pretty remarkable one of the things that I found out is that everybody's got a story like that. Everybody has been a victim of some sort of discrimination. We all grew up with somebody with too big ears. One of us grew up with, we had to wear clothes that somebody else made fun of in the classroom. Just the growing pains of growing up makes us all different. And we've all experienced that feeling of being alone, of being different, of wanting to be part of a group. In every community all over the country, anybody can do this presentation. You don't have to be a cancer survivor. You don't have to have a three-legged dog to be able to show children with using animals that being different, that being diverse is a good thing, and that the root of discrimination is not respecting people's differences. I'm just, I'm thinking out loud here. Whenever I do these presentations, I'll have an adult come with me, and invariably they'll be listening and they'll realize, oh my God, I remember when I was a victim of discrimination. Not necessarily skin color or hair or accent, but just the way I looked as a child. In fact, when I grew up, my ears were too big for me, and kids would make fun of me. To this day, I still remember that. And when those little incidents happen, if kids could be reminded that it's okay to be that way, that be reminded that we are all different, that we will always be different, and that is a wonderful thing. It'll make it easier for everyone, and I really think it's the root of compassion. So I guess my message is that while I'm so proud of this presentation and my animals and my stories, everybody has a story of being different and feeling alone and how their story relates to discrimination in society. So I encourage parents and teachers who've seen this video and have heard our stories, go back into your community and talk about it with your children and in your classrooms, because that's really where compassion will start, and it's the only place. I get letters all the time from children after they've heard our presentation saying about now they know that treating people with respect is okay, that a three-legged dog is a special dog, that just because an animal or a person is blind doesn't mean that there's something wrong with them. The message comes across and the letters are heartwarming and show that children can learn from this and it will influence them for the rest of their lives. I treasure those letters.